Now, look, I don't want to be the dead horse, but I think Oklahoma's another team that has a really stout defense, bro. And a team that defensively can be a problem. Them boys had 10 sacks in this game. When I say they had Jackson Arnold on his back, they had him on his back. Now, overall, y'all, this was a pretty good game between two really good teams, right? My biggest takeaway is I feel like this Auburn team can play, right? Now, they got a tough game coming up, obviously, next week, but, playing at Texas A&M. But this Auburn team can go. And the fact that they was able to hold this team, only 270 yards passing, right? Make it really tough. Make John Mateer be disciplined. Make him not force the ball. I thought they did a really good job in this game and in keeping their team in it while the offense got going. So I think Auburn surprised some people, and I think they're a team that could be dangerous. Now, I don't know if that leads to a college football playoff spot. That's not what I'm saying, but I think they could be a dangerous team in the SEC. Like, hey, if I got Auburn this week, I better make sure I buckle my chin strap and play at a high level. Now, they got to get better on third down. Over 3 for 15 in this game. Really struggling in that category, man. But I thought, the players made spectacular plays. You look at Cam Coleman, 3 catches, 88 yards in a tub, right? Malcolm Simmons made some good plays, 4 catches, 30 yards. You had Singleton Jr., he did his thing, 9 catches, 60 yards. So, the same thing with kind of like with Florida. We know Auburn has the weapons. It's just doing it a little bit more consistent. I feel like Oklahoma was just faster. Like when they was doing the read option, obviously with Jackson Arnold, when he tried to scrum out the pocket, they always had somebody there for him. And late in the game, they just manhandled them, on the defensive line. So, they got to be better on the offensive line. Now you're probably not going to face an Oklahoma front every single week, but giving up 10 sacks, you're not going to win that game. You have to be better in that category. And having 13 penalties ain't going to help you either. So certain things they got to clean up and get better at. But like I said, overall, great effort defensively. I thought in this game, a great effort just overall as a team, nearly pulling out this win. Now, if you're Oklahoma, man, you feel good because you've beaten some quality opponents. You've beaten the Michigan. Now you've beaten the Auburn. We'll see how far Auburn falls. But you've done what you needed to do in order to win some of these games, right? And you got different players stepping up. You got players like Isaiah Stagner III, who went off today. 127 yards, 9 catches, and a touchdown. Y'all can see right there, right? And the only concern you have if you're Oklahoma is running the football, right? Your best runner right now looks like it is John Mateer, right? And teams are going to tee off on that, right? They're going to make you try to, run the ball. They're going to throw a lot of blitzes and pressures at you. So you have to find a way to kind of get around that, I think, whether that's Blaylock or Barnes. They got to be able to run the ball more efficiently because if not, it's going to be long, and they're going to try to start teeing off on John Mateer as competition gets better and they start to figure you out. So the running game is a little bit concerning if I'm an Oklahoma Sooner fan, but I feel like the offense can continue to get better and better. But you got to work on that part. And then I feel like the defense keeps you in any game, right? They don't allow a lot of 20-point games. They make it tough. Even against Michigan, they only allowed that one big run to Justice Haynes, and it was tough sledding. So I feel like what I learned from Oklahoma in this game, this is a real team, right? And like I said, I don't want to be cliche and say that about everybody because about week 6, week 7, I really know who is for real and who's the contenders and pretenders. But I feel like Oklahoma's a team, like they can win the big games. I feel like they can pressure the quarterback. I feel like they have a great defensive front, really good linebackers, and I feel like they have the weapons on the outside. But again, my concern is in the run game. Have to be a balanced attack if you want to be special. But I think they got a Heisman candidate in John Mateer who's played really well to start the season, man, and has been awesome. Biggest takeaway with Auburn is I think you have a pretty formidable team. You're going to be dangerous moving forward, right? And if people sleep on you, I think you can smack somebody in the mouth. Offensive line has to be a lot better. You cannot give up 10 sacks and expect to win. You cannot have 13 penalties and expect to win. And get your guys more involved. Cam Coleman should have more than 3 catches. He should have more than 7, 8 targets. Get him the ball more. Same with Malcolm Simmons and obviously Eric Singleton Jr. These kids can play, but find different ways to kind of dissect the defense and get them guys the ball in the space. And continue to lean on your running game to make it easier for your quarterback. But I feel like Arnold has gotten a lot better than where he was when he was with Oklahoma last year, and he's continued to improve. But if you Auburn, your mindset got to be 1-0. Flush this tape, get better on the offensive line, and go in there and upset Texas A&M. If you do that, we'll have a lot of eyes on you, and it's gonna be like, is Auburn back? And it's starting to kind of look like that. But we'll see. You don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too low. Still very early in the season, man, but a big game coming up next week for the Auburn Tigers. But overall, great game from them. Just have to clean some things up. That's my reaction, man. John Mateer, Oklahoma, they continue to ride. Isaiah Stagner III did his thing in this game. Couldn't be stopped. Absolutely lit up their defense, man. Great overall game on Saturday.